and welcome to another episode of Community Conversations. I'm Char Freedberg, and today we're speaking with Senita M. Hill. Senita is the founder and CEO of Peace on Patuxent, a distinguished nonprofit organization specializing in respite, which has gained widespread recognition for its unwavering commitment to services to the community. We're very fortunate to have Senita with us today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Char, for having me.
Especially in this special month. For those who do not know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So going off of that, what inspired you to establish a respite service specifically for women battling life-leveling cancers? Can you share the journey that led you to this important mission?
Yes. So in starting Peace on Patuxent, I was supporting a lot of organizations prior to the inception of Peace on Patuxent. But it actually started with my mom and I being diagnosed and seeing an oncologist at the same time.
Wow.
Yes, my mom had lung cancer while I was diagnosed with MGUS, which is the precursor to multiple myeloma or leukemia. So while we were both, at one point, we were both sitting in the same oncologist's office, waiting to see which one she was going to see. And so that started the journey into support, finding support groups, looking for places that my mom could attend. Because for me, I sat on my diagnosis. I took it and I shared with everyone. I took it and put it in my back pocket because what I needed to do was really focus on my mom and make sure that she got the best care.
Right.
But at the same time, I was still being cared for. I just wasn't addressing it. So in her journey, I was able to find a few organizations at that time that were in the area and that offered support. And I got behind those organizations. So they showed me what it looked like to be of support, to have a support organization.
And how long has it been since you and your mom have been diagnosed or have been in remission?
My mom is not in remission. My mom transitioned. I was never active. My MGUS can be smoldering. It take many forms. So I just continue to be watched because we never wanted to switch over. So that therefore I'm always being watched. So it's been years, many years, almost 20-something years since my mom made her transition. And that's how long I've been under the care of an oncologist.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing the story of you and your mother. And you guys have both been absolutely courageous throughout this 20-plus year journey. So something that sets Peace on Patuxent apart is its focus on holistic healing. What have you observed in your clients that indicates the effectiveness of the respite model that you guys are using? Are there any common themes in their experiences or outcomes, or do they vary from person to person?
So because we focus on all cancers, because we open up Peace on Patuxent, Peace on Patuxent is established for all cancers, not just one. So every woman varies, but the commonality is community. It allows community to come together, a community of women who are battling life-leveling cancers to come and have a place to talk about it, to talk about their experiences. What we found with many of the women is they rarely ever take a moment for themselves. Once in many cases, once a woman is diagnosed with cancer, and first let me start by saying many women think they have choices when they are diagnosed with cancer. They're told that they have a choice, but in actuality, the choice is already lined up for them. The path is already established. The chemo, whatever they are going to go through, it is already established, but it's called a choice. I like to call Peace on Patuxent the pause. The pause where you can come and think, how do you want to run your race? What do you want to do? That is the commonality. Many of the women have said once they've gotten there, after we get them there, that they've never had a moment to pause.
Wow.
They've never breathed because they were always running almost on fire. One would say they felt like they were always running to put the fire out. Others have said that they've never had a moment to cry and never had someone to just take care of them. Peace on Patuxent does all those things. We don't do holistic healing. We allow them to address themselves holistically. And as a community, they begin to heal. And so that's the commonality that we've seen with Peace on Patuxent.
That is incredible. And if no one in the room minds me being a little bit vulnerable, when I was in 9th grade, my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and she was so strong throughout the whole process. She felt like she had to be the strong one when there were so many days when I saw her on the couch in pain, but she felt she had to be strong. I feel like she would have benefited greatly from an organization like this that would have just said, take a second, breathe, be yourself.
Yes.
So Peace on Patuxent is the only respite care facility in the DMV area, with the closest one in New Jersey. Did that play a role in your selection of Laurel as your home base?
Well, it did. There was none. It was when I started Peace on Patuxent, I had two friends going through breast cancer at the same time, two different types of breast cancer. And I was trying to find my way, my footing. I thought I was done with the cancer support community. And these two women, one was staying with me as she was recovering from her mastectomy, from her bilateral mastectomy, second mastectomy.
Her
Second mastectomy. She had mastectomy one time, went back, third time. She was a third-time cancer survivor and had to go back for her second mastectomy because the breast cancer had come back in the second breast.
Oh my gosh.
So she was there recuperating while I was in my mind, in my spiritual mind, trying to figure out what I wanted to do and how I was going to retire, if I retired. And what I heard the Spirit say was that I was to do Peace on Patuxent. And I began to research. So I shared with them the concept that I had come up with that was already modeled in New Jersey. And I said, well, what do you think about this? And then I had another, as I said, there was another friend who lived not far from Laurel in the area. And she was going through the same. And I shared with both of them, what do you think about this concept? Or going there? Because I would have went with them. That's how enmeshed we were at that time. And they both had the same response. How am I going to go there when I'm sick? How am I going to get there on my 2 days when I'm feeling my best? And my response to them was, you don't. It's here. It is already here. And when the two of them met at the property, the community, you saw the community flourish. You saw a community come to life. They didn't know each other. They didn't know that each other was going through it. But when they found out after the introduction, the community flourished. They became a community. Wow. And they're in line, Peace on Patuxent.
That is incredible. I love that story. And seeing how people can come together because of such a horrible thing that happens in life, it makes people a lot stronger in the end.
Yeah, or it gives I believe it gives a different perspective. With our family, myself being the daughter of a mother who was going through life-leveling cancers, I had my own expectations for her. In addition, she had expectations from her medical community. So they all have there are expectations put on these women, and they are still, while they have these expectations, they are still mothers, as you just mentioned. They're still co-workers. They're still daughters. They are not alleviated of any of their responsibility. They're just these women that are going through their journey with all this other stuff on top of their diagnosis. And then you have expectations. And as soon as you hear the word, or someone hears the word remission, then we just change the whole tune. And then we're like, okay, let's go on about our business now. She's fine. And that's not true either. There are so many women, and I probably just digress, but there's so many women that the cancer treatment or the cancer suppression is ongoing. They're taking medicine, we just don't see it. The anxieties that they feel, we don't see that. Because once you have cancer, you're always wondering, will it come back? Where is it? And I can attest to that. As an MGUS patient, I'm always watching my numbers. Where is it? When you go, the anxiety comes when I get ready to go to the doctor. So I know that exists in every woman diagnosed with cancer.
I mean, it definitely, I'm going to go back to my mom as an example again, but when she sees some of the doctors that have treated her over the years, they say, okay, we can go from seeing you like twice a year to seeing you once a year? She said, absolutely not. I want to make sure that I have people watching me in case something goes wrong. And she's been taking a lot better care of herself since the diagnosis. What do you find to be the most popular component of your respite retreat services? And why do you think that particular aspect resonates so deeply?
It's the community. It is the community. When they come together as women and they take turns, they come together. When each group of women come together, they don't know me. They don't know what they're coming into. But once they come there and the magic, I call it the magic, and the magic transforms, you can just watch it and they begin to communicate in that space. We're not a part of it. Peace on Patuxent, our staff, our volunteers, we are not there. That space that they go into is sacred, which is why I call it a sanctuary. And they, in their own space, create the community. There have been so many women who've walked away because we don't follow them per se, but I'm learning that they are still keeping in touch with one another. They're going to church. They're holding each other accountable. They are living because of the community that they created at Peace on Patuxent.
That is incredible to hear.
Yeah.
And especially, like you said, everyone still reaching out to each other after the traumatic experience. That is really nice to see that they're still connected. Are guests allowed to return for multiple visits to Peace on Patuxent? And if so, how does that benefit them in their healing journey?
So if we have space, because we do have a wait list,
Right.
if we have space, they can come back for a day retreat. There's two components to Peace on Patuxent. One is the overnight respite, which we provide transportation. I like to talk about. The transportation is not an Uber, it's not Lyft. We provide a limousine, door to door, for a woman in the state of in any area in the state of Maryland, door to door, and in the DMV at no cost.
Wow.
That's Peace on Patuxent. And then we also have the second component, whereas if they don't want to stay overnight, they can come for a day retreat. And in both, we provide meals, we provide lunch and breakfast if you stay overnight. So yes. So the day retreat, I didn't answer the question. The day retreat, they can come for the day retreat if we have space. And if it's open, we would schedule it, but not just show up. Everything is scheduled by appointment. And so, yeah, they can. But for the overnight retreat, we don't allow you to come back for at least 5 years because we want to make sure that every woman has the opportunity to stay overnight.
Right. That makes perfect sense. And how can people reach out to Peace on Patuxent if they need respite? And how can people support Peace on Patuxent?
Okay, you can support. I'll start with the support. You can support Peace on Patuxent through donations, through sponsorship, through volunteerism. We have the grounds. The grounds always need to be manicured, and volunteers. We look for chefs because we want to make sure that we have the right type of women. So we want skilled volunteers who are seasoned in their area of expertise. You can reach us at general.inquiries@peaceonpatuxent.org. And if you want to contact me directly, you can reach me at Senita.Hill@peaceonpatuxent.org.
All right, Senita M. Hill, founder and CEO of Peace on Patuxent. Thank you again so much for coming. It's been wonderful to hear how much this organization helps people.
Yes. And we're also on YouTube. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I think we're on all social medias. Instagram.
All right. Check them out on all the social media platforms. Coming up after the break, I'll speak with two clients who have been directly impacted by their respite visit. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're about to get started. I just want to say happy anniversary to the Laurel Multi-Service Center.
Well, for me, personally, I was on house earlier this year, and I was able to come here and, get some of the services that I really needed.
It's amazing how people are coming alive because of the beacon of hope that the multi-service center has provided, and I'm pleased that we've been able to be a part of that.
Welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Char Freedberg. Earlier, we spoke with Senita Hill, founder and CEO of Peace on Patuxent. Now we're speaking with 3 people who have benefited from Peace on Patuxent services. Deidre Robinson, Joy Oliver, and Tracy Wagstaff. Thank you all so much for being with me this morning.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for having us.
us.
Yes.
Of course. So if you're comfortable, can you share how your individual battles with cancer led you to Peace on Patuxent?
Well, I guess I can go first. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in June of 2023. And, there are several types of breast cancer, but my specific form was triple negative breast cancer, which is known to be a very aggressive form of breast cancer. So that led me to getting a double mastectomy and, going through 6 months of chemotherapy and 4 weeks of radiation. And even after that, I had to, do a year of Limpars, which is a chemotherapy pill. But when I was diagnosed, I mean, that led to a lot of anxiety and a lot of, stress and pressure. And, a lot of times I'm the go-to person in my family. So, with me being, hit with that diagnosis, it really took a toll, not only me, but on my family as well.
Absolutely. Deidre?
I would say, our stories are probably similar. But I was diagnosed in 2022 as well. And I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer as well, which is, like Joy said, very aggressive. I went through a double mastectomy as well as I was a year into chemotherapy. One of the things for me, as Joy mentioned, I am the go-to person for my family. So I couldn't let them see me sweat, right? And my face for them was, I got this. I'm taking on this so you guys don't have to. And if you do, we'll be better prepared because I'm taking the journey right now to ensure that if anything happens, we know what to do. Because a lot of times, women don't go to the doctor. They don't, proceed with treatment for whatever reason. So I had to be the face of my family for this. And Peace on Patuxent kind of was my place that I could relax and I could be me and I could think. Because at home or around my family, I had to be strong. I had to be brave. And I was introduced to Senita and the organization. And that's where I met a lot of beautiful women there. But when I went, and I've never shared this story, I went at a time that I was most vulnerable because it's a lot of anxiety. And I was on the verge, do I push or do I just take my own life? Because it's a life-changing experience. But I couldn't tell anybody else that. And I couldn't show that face. But when I went to Peace on Patuxent, I was able to sit back, relax, and talk to people that are going through the same things that I've gone through. Some of the women had already been through the stages that I was just getting to. So I was able to talk. I was able to breathe. I was able to sit in solitude, really, and think. And that saved, Peace on Patuxent really saved my life. Because I didn't have anything else that I could show face to and be me. And that's what really changed my life, to want to keep going and want to push. And it gave me that push. And those ladies, You know, Tracy, prime example, Tracy had been through things much longer than me and much harder than me. Matter of fact, when I met Tracy, we were picked up together in a escort service that picked me and Tracy up for the weekend. And Tracy was so sick. And I just said, you know, it's somebody out there worse than me, but we're gonna get through it together. And Peace and Patuxent really, really saved my life. It really did.
That is incredible. Tracy?
Yes, Deirdre got me over here crying, but Peace on Patuxent for me was God sent. I started my journey in 2018. I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. It seemed like all three of us were diagnosed with the same thing. I had a total bilateral mastectomy, and they told me I was cancer free. I went for a whole year with no treatment. I was cancer free. I went back to life as normal. Went back for my yearly scan, and they said it was back and it had spread it to other areas, which was my lymph nodes and my lungs.
My gosh.
So it was back to chemo. I had to start chemo because that was my first time. I didn't do chemo before. I didn't do radiation. So I was on a very aggressive chemo, which it's a lot to deal with. But like you said, you put a smile on your face and you keep fighting. That's all I know to do is fight. I've been fighting all my life, so I got to continue to fight. I got to fight this thing. And I'm going to trust God that, you know, his word is what it is. He said that he will heal me. By his stripes, I'm healed. So I stand on that. But I found out about Peace on Patuxent while I was sitting in pain management, waiting to have a procedure for sciatic nerve, the injection. And just a lady started sharing, and she started talking about it, and I put it in my phone. I'm not a person that like really try to go out and go places, but for whatever reason, it stuck with me. Just what she said. So I called and I did the interview and I went. And like Deirdre said, when I went, my anxiety was so high. I was in the limo that picked us up. I was throwing up in my rain hat because I had so much anxiety that, you know, like, should I be even going here? Am I gonna, you know, am I gonna like it? Is it gonna, you know, just a whole lot of questions. But I can tell you, it was something I needed that I didn't even realize I needed. Because at home, you can't silence the noise. It's always, you got to pay this bill, you got to do this, the kids, the grandkids. So it was so much. When I went to Peace on Patuxent, I was able to just silence all the noise in my head. I took full advantage of the whole experience, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. That was my first time hearing from God. And I realized I couldn't hear from God because I couldn't silence the noise in my head, and I couldn't, you know, just relax.
Yeah.
And I had the peace. The name by itself is wonderful because that's what I experienced, nothing but peace. And when they put me together with Deirdre, they don't know what they did because that's a bond right there that will never be, that's my sister. And that's what Peace on Patuxent. It's not just a respite home. It's a family. You know, it's a sisterhood. We're able to share our stories and, you know, just get strength from each other. And since I've been there, I had so much positive, you know, like reinforcement on how to handle things or what somebody else went through. And it's just all been beautiful for me. It's all been beautiful for me. And I don't understand why Senita would give so much of herself, because I honestly say, if that was me, I don't know if I could do that. This is a lot of work. And people don't understand what we go through. And for her to be so selfless and so giving, and she understands what we're going through. She understands we need a platform. She understands that You really need that time to rest and think. And I thought I had it all together. You couldn't tell me that I didn't until I was able to really sit and think. The house is so beautiful, the rooms, I didn't want to leave. When you go, you greet it with a crown. And most of the time, like with myself, I lost my hair, my neck, everything changed. My skin got dark. So I didn't feel beautiful anymore. And they made me feel beautiful in spite of how I felt like I saw myself. So sometimes now when I just need that break, I shut my door, I put my crown on, and I just sit back and I just relax and think. And I just try to take myself back to that moment. And it actually worked. So Peace on Patuxent for me was absolutely God said. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And each function that I have attended, it's been the same thing. It's been the same thing. It's just wonderful people pulling together and supporting each other. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. All of you touched on why you think Peace on Patuxent is valuable, and all of your stories have been so touching. Why is it important to have this resource available to other people who have gone through similar experiences to all of you?
Because sometimes people don't really think they need it, like I didn't think I needed it. And you really do. You need it. You need it because it's a lot to deal with. Your body go through so many changes, and mentally you go through changes as well. But you really need that space, and you can't do it at home. You just cannot do it at home. You have to get away from where everything is, where the bills are, where the children are. Well, even if you live by yourself, you have to get out. You have to go. It's very important. I believe it's very important to every woman that's dealing with this, no matter what your stage is. It's a mental breakdown when they tell you that you have stage 4. I'm stage 4 breast cancer. And at first they told me, like I said, when I got diagnosed, I was 0 to 1. And then they told me I was cancer free. They even removed more lymph nodes out my arm to make sure that they had it all. And then to come back for a year and they tell me I'm stage 4 was devastating. But I had to keep that strong front up for my family and for my children, that it's okay. I'm going to beat it. And I really believe that I'm going to beat this. And I still believe that I'm going to beat this. Mentally, I think everybody needs Peace on Patuxent. And the food, the rooms, oh my goodness, you just don't know. Then we had yoga. That was my first time doing yoga. And I loved it. It was just a really good experience all the way around. We danced on the deck, and just like even this last event, Boots on the Ground, I had so much fun. And I hadn't had fun because I don't go anywhere. I'm always home. I got to wear a mask everywhere I go. I let my hair down, and I had a good time. I mean, I really had a good time. It was wonderful. And then I had lost contact with my sister right here, Deirdre, and she showed up, and that was it was like I just hit the lottery. I felt it was good. Every experience I had with Peace on Patuxent was good. And
I think also,
we need it.
Go ahead, Joy.
Okay, if I can just add really quickly, I can recall when I was diagnosed, I told one of my girlfriends about my diagnosis, and by the end of the conversation, I was the one consoling her.
Exactly.
So Peace on Patuxent, it really gives the people or the women who've actually been diagnosed a place to go and decompress and not have to, we can just have a chance in a space to go through our own emotions. We don't get that at home and with our family and friends because we have to console them and make sure that they're okay. So, I was in that particular space, I was in a sense robbed of, being able to express my emotions and my true feelings as the one that was diagnosed because I had to console my family, make sure my family and friends were okay. But Peace on Patuxent really provided me a space to decompress. It provided me a space to breathe, because my diagnosis did bring on anxiety. I lost the ability to control my own breath. So, it did provide that space, which I desperately needed. I didn't know that I needed it, but
Exactly.
I desperately needed it. So once I stepped foot on the property, the atmosphere changed. You can feel the peace.
Yes.
You sit in the garden,
Yes.
and you don't even have to worry about, okay, how do I Tracy talked about the meals. The meals are prepared for us. So we don't have to worry about, getting in the kitchen, fixing something to eat, and, just those daily day-to-day things, because everything is already taken care of.
Yes.
Mhm.
It was wonderful. Yes. I want to go back again.
You said
Yeah.
you want to go back to
Yeah.
Yes,
Peace on
I just told Miss
Yes.
Senita that I said I need to come back again. And she said, you are more than welcome to come back. I can do a day retreat, and I will do that, because I was always the one to sit back. I never spoke out ever, not unless, you said something to me, I just responded or whatever. But I was never one that I thought would get out here and tell my story. And when I went, I knew that I needed to tell my story. I needed to tell my story, not just for everybody else, but for myself. I need to get it out. Like Joy said, decompress. I had to really decompress. And I'm in a good place now. I'm in a good place mentally. I'm in a good place emotionally. And I thank Peace on Patuxent for that, because it taught me to just silence the noise in my head. And that's what I did when I went there. I silenced the noise in my head. And they did what, let me tell you, when they say they're not there in your way, you can't even find them. We be like, where they at? It is completely and totally your space.
Yeah.
It is your space for the weekend. When you go upstairs for breakfast, the table is already set up and everything. You don't see them at all. You don't have to worry about anything but washing your body. That's it. That's all you have to do for yourself, is wash your body. And I pray that you do that, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But it's nothing for you to do.
Yeah.
Nothing for you to do. I'm always thinking about my dog. When I went, I wasn't even thinking about the dogs. I knew they would be okay. This is for me. This is for Tracy. And they made me feel so special and just, so accepted. Even in the interview, it was like just that energy came through the phone and the tablet that made me want to go.
Yeah.
Made me want to go. And I thank God for Deirdre, because she helped me through that weekend as well. I tell you, I love you, Deirdre. I love you. You are
Love
my
you
sister.
forever. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Miss Joy, I love you too, Joy.
Love you, Tracy.
Don't leave Joy out.
Yes.
I think also, Peace on Patuxent, it's important that other women have this experience.
Exactly.
And this experience is a lifetime. How sometimes you experience things and they're in your life for a minute or sequence. But for me, when I got there, I got more than what I expected. And throughout making new friends, we also got resources. They gave out pamphlets, contact information, nutritionists, again, like Tracy said, we had a yoga instructor to come in and help us to learn how to decompose, catch your breath, breathe, relax your mind. So there were so many resources that were given that even though this was all about you in the moment, we had a lot of resources to take away. One of the things is after my surgery, I got really, really sick, which was why, Tracy said she lost contact with me. and I went back in the hospital, and I was very ill my body was just poisoned, and everything was had shut down. So I was in the hospital for a while. But when I got home, because my children took my cell phone, they just kind of took me away from the outside world. I had text messages I had from, Senita's like, okay, wait a minute, Dedra, something's wrong here. You're not responding. I don't hear you. I don't see you. Like something's going on. So I had people that were constantly checking in on me, even though I wasn't responding. It's like, okay, you got one day to give me a call as I'm coming to find you. And they did. They, Senita sent Shamika to my house, and Shamika's like, sister, what is going on? And they brought grocery. Okay, what do you need? Let's do a grocery list. So these relationships are forever lasting.
Yes.
And it also, opened my mind up and my heart to be a resource for other people. So I went through this, and I know somebody else is, just like all three of us. We've never had a conversation of what type of breast cancer we had or have, and all of us had the same thing. Right?
You guys just found that out during this interview.
Just found that out.
We did.
So I know there's another me or somebody out there that are experiencing the same thing that I've experienced. And, Peace on Patuxent have really opened my heart to say, I need to pass this along. I need to help somebody else. Somebody helped me, and I wouldn't have made it without it. I would not have made it without Senita, without Joy, without Tracy, without the caregivers that took care of us when we were there, all the way down the line. And I am thankful for that I have to pass this along and hopefully make this journey or someone else's journey just a little bit better.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So that's why it's important to me that any woman that is experiencing this at least have the opportunity to experience Peace on Patuxent.
Exactly.
Because we have to continue this journey to continue to pass this down, and as we're passing it down, we also need to be, we need to make sure that Peace on Patuxent is financially able to stay alive and be there for these women, that a resource for these women that I wholeheartedly know that they would need.
And they'll love it. If they just open their heart and go,
yes,
they'll love it.
So
they're not gonna want to leave. They're not gonna want to leave. It's just that welcoming. Yeah.
Going off of all that information, we're starting to run a little bit low on time, but as advocates for cancer awareness, what message would you like to convey to others who are currently battling cancer, or what words of hope or encouragement would you offer them?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Put God first in your life and keep fighting.
Yes, and I would offer, connect with the community of women who understand you and understand what you're going through. A lot of times family and friends, they don't understand because they may not have been diagnosed, but connect with the community of women who have been diagnosed and know what you're going through.
And there's mentors, there's women out there that want to help. Be open to the help, no matter how strong you are.
For sure.
Deidre Robinson, Joy Oliver, and Tracy Wagstaff, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to speak about your journeys and how much Peace on Patuxent has helped you. And thank you for tuning into this episode of Community Conversations. For more information about Peace on Patuxent, go to peaceonpatuxent.org or call 301-383-5266. I'm Char Freedberg for Community Conversations. See you next time.